The world around you, in its vibrant detail and stark reality, feels undeniably solid. You touch the cold metal, taste the bitter coffee, see the crisp lines of the screen before you. But what if this solidity, this certainty, is an illusion born of your own gaze? What if the universe is less a fixed stage and more a fluid canvas, only rendering itself into form the moment your awareness settles upon it? Think of a room you've never entered, a distant star you've never seen. Does it exist in full, tangible detail, or is its existence a potentiality, a wave of probabilities waiting for the wave of your perception to collapse it into being? Quantum physics whispers this unsettling truth. Particles don't exist in a definite state until observed. Your mundane reality might just be operating under the same hidden law. And before we dive deeper, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. These revelations aren't random, and if this video found you, it was meant to. Now let's begin. Your daily life, your struggles, your triumphs, all might be emerging from this fundamental interaction. You are not merely a passenger in a pre-existing reality, you are its co-creator, whether you know it or not. The world, the specific version of it you inhabit, is not fully there until you look. This isn't just abstract theory, it's the very fabric of your lived experience. Your repeated failures were never accidents, they were echoes of an old identity still rendering. But what happens when that identity finally collapses? Next, we face the truth that the observer effect isn't just physics, it's your life. The observer effect, a concept often relegated to sterile laboratories and particle accelerators. Yet its shadow stretches far beyond the subatomic, touching every corner of your existence. You feel its weight in the mundane moments when a problem vanishes the instant you stop obsessing over it, or when a desired outcome manifests only after you release your desperate grip. These aren't coincidences, they are the universe responding to your shifted attention. Your constant worry about money doesn't just reflect a lack, it actively sustains that lack by constantly observing its presence. The frustration you feel in a relationship perpetuates the very patterns you wish to escape because your perception is locked on the floor. You are not merely seeing reality, you are sculpting it with your gaze. Every thought, every emotional vibration is a form of observation, collapsing infinite possibilities into the singular reality you experience. This isn't a metaphor, it's the fundamental operating principle of your experience. Your life, then, is a series of sustained observations, an unbroken chain of attention collapsing potentials. This truth, that your very act of looking determines what you see, is both terrifying and liberating. But what forces constrain this limitless power, chaining your gaze to familiar patterns? Next, we uncover how identity inertia becomes the real loop controller. You've felt it. That heavy, invisible force that keeps you tethered to old routines, old feelings, old versions of yourself, even when you desperately want to change. This isn't a lack of willpower. It's identity inertia, the unseen anchor of your past self. Your identity, a deep-seated aggregate of beliefs, memories, and perceived limitations, generates a gravitational pull. This inertia acts as a powerful observer itself, constantly affirming and rendering the you it already knows. If your identity believes you are someone who struggles with finances or relationships or health, then your attention will invariably seek out and collapse those realities. You become profoundly efficient at finding evidence for what your underlying identity already holds as true. It's why you might try a new diet, a new habit, or a new way of thinking, only to find yourself inexplicably drawn back to the old. It's not a failure of technique, it's the identity machine resetting itself to its default, most observed setting. It's the constant self-affirmation of the old, I am. This inherent resistance to change isn't malicious. It's simply efficient in maintaining coherence. But what if this efficient coherence is precisely what prevents you from seeing different possibilities? Next, we explore the mechanics of the mind's filter, how you miss what's possible. Imagine your perception not as a wide-open window, but as a meticulously crafted filter. This isn't about blocking out negative input. It's about actively shaping and interpreting all incoming data to match the narrative your identity inertia has established. Your mind isn't passively receiving reality, it's constantly sifting, categorizing, and most importantly, discarding. This filter operates on an unconscious level, a subtle lens through which you view everything. It highlights what confirms your existing beliefs and often renders invisible anything that contradicts them. A world abundant with opportunity might be perceived as scarce if your filter is tuned to lack. A loving gesture might be interpreted as manipulation if your filter expects betrayal. You're not seeing the world as it is, you're seeing the world as you are through the intricate biases of your subconscious. This filter decides what registers as important, what is worthy of your attention, and what simply fades into the background noise. It's why two people can experience the exact same event and walk away with wildly different accounts. This filtering mechanism is a powerful survival tool, but it's also the prison of your potential. It ensures that you perpetually observe what you've always observed. But what happens when this loop becomes self-sustaining and unbreakable? Next, we confront the attention loop, why reality repeats until the observer shifts. Your attention, the very light of your awareness, is not static. It's a dynamic force, constantly seeking and collapsing. But when coupled with identity inertia and subconscious filters, it often falls into what we call the attention loop. This loop is the invisible mechanism that ensures your reality self-corrects back to its familiar patterns. You felt it, haven't you? The same argument repeating in different relationships, the same financial setback appearing despite your best efforts, the same creative block returning just as you feel a breakthrough. These aren't random occurrences, they are symptomatic of an attention loop. Your observer keeps returning to the same problem, reobserving it, and thus remanifesting it. This loop reinforces itself. The more you observe a particular reality, the stronger its presence becomes in your perception. The stronger its presence, the more your attention is drawn back to it, solidifying its place in your experience. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, powered by your own unshifted gaze. Breaking this loop isn't about brute force, it's about redirection, about consciously withdrawing your attention from the unwanted and placing it, with firm intention, onto the desired. But why does this fundamental truth remain elusive for so many, leading to repeated frustration? Next, we diagnose why most manifestation fails. You're observing the problem feed. The common pitfall in manifestation isn't a lack of desire or belief. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of the observer's role. Most attempts at manifesting inadvertently strengthen the very reality they seek to escape. Why? Because the focus remains, however subtly, on the absence or the problem. Think of it, I want money often implies I don't have money. I want a new relationship covertly acknowledges I am currently alone and unhappy. Even positive affirmations can backfire if the underlying emotional state is one of chasing an absence. Your observation is still anchored to the problem feed, the present lack, rather than the future abundance. This means you are still observing the unwanted, still giving it energy and collapsing it into continued existence. You are affirming the current reality, however undesirable, by fixating on what's missing. The universe, in its indifferent mirroring, simply gives you more of what you are predominantly observing. The true shift isn't about wishing for a different reality while standing firmly in the old one. It's about shifting your observation entirely, as if the desired reality is already here. But how do you even begin to perform such a radical shift in perception? Next, we explore the mirror experiment, a micro-test of observer collapse. To truly grasp the power of your observer, try a simple, daily experiment. The mirror experiment. For 1 week, choose one subtle characteristic you wish to embody, not something monumental, but something internal, like inner calm or effortless confidence. Each morning, look into your own eyes in the mirror. As you gaze, consciously and deliberately observe your reflection as if it already possesses that chosen trait. Do not force a feeling, simply shift your internal observation. See the calm in your eyes, the confidence in your posture, even if it feels like an act. Hold this observation for a minute, then release it. Do not analyze or criticize. Throughout the day, when a challenging situation arises, remember that observation. Do not try to be calm, simply remember that you observed yourself as calm. Notice how your response, however subtly, begins to shift. You are not willing calm into existence, you are collapsing it into being through altered observation. This daily practice isn't about vanity, it's about retraining your fundamental observer. It's a small, controlled collapse of an old self-perception and the rendering of a new one. But why, even with such shifts, does reality sometimes seem to lag behind your internal changes? Next, we understand reality lag. Why you don't see the shift instantly? You've made the internal shift. You've redirected your attention, collapsed a new possibility, perhaps even felt a profound sense of inner change. You expect immediate external validation, a sign from the universe, but often there's a frustrating delay. This is known as reality lag. Reality lag isn't a failure of your observation. It's a natural consequence of the universe's mechanics. Think of it like dropping a stone into a pond. The ripple doesn't appear instantaneously at the furthest shore. There's a propagation delay, a time for the energy to travel and reshape the surface. Your internal shifts are waves of energy. The external world, being a dense manifestation, requires time to reconfigure itself in response to your new observation. Old vibrational patterns, long sustained by your previous observations, still have momentum. They continue to play out, like an echo, even as new patterns are being established. This is where patience becomes a crucial aspect of conscious creation. This lag tests your commitment to the new observation. It's an invitation to hold steady, to continue observing the desired reality even when the physical evidence hasn't fully caught up. But how do you know if you're on the right track during this period of lag? Next, we decode the meaning of symbols and glitches, how the field speaks back. During moments of reality lag, when your internal reality has shifted but the external hasn't fully caught up, the universe often sends subtle signals. These aren't grand pronouncements, but quiet nudges, symbolic instances, and gentle glitches in the familiar pattern. You might call them synchronicities, but they are more profound. These symbols are the field speaking back, confirming that your new observation is indeed creating ripples. You might repeatedly see a specific number, overhear a fragment of conversation that perfectly addresses a hidden thought, or find an object that perfectly embodies your desired outcome. These aren't random. These are the universe's way of saying, I hear you, the shift is underway. They are little fractures in the old code, signs that the old reality's momentum is beginning to break down. They are not the full manifestation, but they are crucial validations, helping you maintain your new observation during the lag. Ignoring these glitches is like ignoring a subtle navigational beacon. They reinforce your new trajectory and help you stay course. But there's a deeper way to collapse reality, one that bypasses much of this lag and the need for constant vigilance. Next, we explore collapse from the already true self. The shortcut to shift. Most attempts at manifestation involve trying to become something new, attempting to pull a desired future into the present. This creates resistance because it inherently acknowledges a present lack. The already true self approach operates from a profoundly different premise. Instead of trying to manifest, you uncover the version of you that already possesses the desired reality. It's not about acquiring, it's about remembering. You shift your internal observation from, I want to be X, to I am X, and I'm simply aligning my external world to reflect this inherent truth. This isn't positive thinking, it's identity reconstruction. You collapse the identity of scarcity, of struggle, of lack, because that identity is a temporary construct, not your fundamental truth. You release the grip of trying, and instead embody the state of being. This is a shortcut because the universe responds instantly to your energetic state of being. When your observation originates from the complete, already fulfilled self, the resistance dissipates. There's no pushing or pulling, only an unfolding. This is a powerful, yet often overlooked, mechanism. But what happens if you never embrace this active co-creation, opting instead for a passive experience of reality? Next, we uncover the hidden cost of passive observation. To drift through life, unconsciously observing, passively accepting the reality presented to you might seem like a path of least resistance. But there's a profound, hidden cost to this passive observation. You become a leaf caught in the current, forever subjected to the prevailing winds of external circumstances. When you fail to consciously direct your attention and collapse your desired realities, you are still observing. You are simply observing the default settings, the consensus reality, and the projections of others. Your subconscious filters, untamed by conscious intent, will perpetuate the loops defined by your past experiences and inherited beliefs. This isn't neutrality, it's a profound act of creation by omission. You are actively contributing to the very reality you might dislike, simply by allowing your observer to remain unguided. You are giving away your ultimate power, trading an infinite canvas for a prescribed script. The cost is not just missed opportunities, it's a life lived at the mercy of algorithms you didn't program. It's the constant echo of what-if whispers, the quiet knowing that more was possible. This begs a fundamental question. If your observation is so powerful, then who or what is observing the observer? The ultimate quantum riddle shifts from who is observing reality to who is observing the observer. If your attention collapses potentials into your lived experience, then what meta-observer is orchestrating the very act of your observation? Is there a deeper layer of awareness, a fundamental consciousness from which your individual observer arises? This question pushes beyond the mechanics of perception into the nature of consciousness itself. Perhaps your individual observer is merely a fractal expression of a larger, universal observer. This larger awareness experiences reality through the countless lenses of individual consciousness, including yours. To ask this question is to step into a hall of mirrors, each reflection revealing a deeper, more fundamental layer of self. It suggests that even your struggles, your cycles of inertia, and your breakthroughs are all part of a grander unfolding, observed by something beyond individual limitation. This contemplation is not just philosophical, it's the ultimate key to unlocking radical freedom. For if you are being observed, and if that meta-observer is the source of all potential, then your true power lies in aligning your individual observation with that infinite source. This realization is not merely conceptual, it is a profound shift in identity. This video, with its whispered truths and unsettling revelations, has been more than just information. It was something deeper. This video was a collapse event. The final layer, this journey through the mechanics of perception, attention loops, and identity collapse wasn't just theoretical. This experience, the act of you reading and absorbing these concepts, has itself been a subtle collapse event. The old frameworks of reality, the unquestioned assumptions about your role in it, have been challenged, fractured, and reshaped. By simply engaging with these ideas, your observer has been irrevocably altered. You can no longer unsee what has been revealed. The very act of acknowledging these hidden mechanisms has primed your consciousness for new possibilities, new observations. The seeds of a different reality have been planted, not just in your mind, but at the very core of your energetic being. The familiar patterns, the recurring loops you felt, now carry a new resonance. They are no longer random glitches. They are signals from a system you now understand. Your former self, the one operating largely on passive observation, has begun its inevitable, beautiful collapse. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of a conscious co-creation, a life lived with intentional observation. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.